Hello everyone, Tomas here. Today we're going to be doing a repair of this train set. I have no idea who made this. I got this from my friend James in my last video, and he got it from a junk box from an auction house. We know pretty much nothing about it. We found one listing of it online, but there was no information, and it says Japan on the bottom. So, presumably a Japanese company created this train set, and I would have to guess sold it in the US just based off the prototypes, and it probably wasn't sold for very long because I have never seen this pop up in the wild before, and it must have been very obscure because I have never heard of this train set before. It is meant to be a battery train set, so it came with a box that you just put like a battery in, and then there's like a control, and then it goes, but I don't have that, unfortunately, because I didn't buy it. I didn't really want it, but the locomotive does actually work. I mean, I could go the other way. There we go. But as I'm sure you can tell, it doesn't sound very happy. If you look on the bottom, this very bizarre mechanism, there's a ton of dirt around the drive gear, and then the pickup wheels are super dirty, and for some reason they're also sitting strangely on the chassis. So something wrong with this for sure. And the cars are actually fine. They are a little annoying to take apart because they have hook and loop couplers, but they're literally just like plastic shells on plastic bodies. Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. Or no, it is plastic. I thought it was metal. And they're a little dirty. As you can see right there's a spot, but there's not really any work to do with these besides just giving them a light scrub. So this video is mainly just going to be about this strange locomotive, and I'm excited to make this video because as far as I know, this is the first video on YouTube of this train set. And to my knowledge, the first documentation of its existence besides the auction listing and that other listing we found. So yeah, I love covering strange, unusual stuff that people haven't heard of before, and this happens to fit that bill exactly. So we're gonna bring this to the workbench and open it up and see what's wrong with it. So here's our locomotive. Based on this obvious clip right here, and you know, having fixed a lot of F units at this point, I'm gonna guess that you just pop it out. We're gonna put this shell to the side and clean it later. So here's the mechanism. As you can see, it's pretty bizarre. We have a motor right here that goes up to a gear, transfers power over here to drive an axle that goes down here to drive another gear that drives this wheel. I'm not an engineer, but I feel like it's not really the best design. Seems a little bit convoluted, but what do I know? I'm just a guy on YouTube. Anyways, I think let's start by working on this front truck, because this seems to be the most problematic, just because it has a lot of dirt on the flanges, which is probably hurting electrical connection. And also these truck covers are sort of loose, I guess. I don't know. Let's figure it out. Okay, so now we should be able to just lift that off. And now we have this truck. This appears to be riveted together though, so we can't really undo it further. But now we should be able to clean it a whole lot easier. Next, let me put this to the side. Next, see we have two big screws here, so I assume this pulls out the whole mechanism. I'm not sure. We're gonna find out. That did actually pull out the whole mechanism. So, we have a very cheap looking motor in here. And it's held together by tabs. I find it interesting that this has a lot of tin plate style like design features. I know there's a company in Japan that made a lot of tin plate trains called Sakai. They're known for being kind of cheap, kind of, you know, middle of the road, and I know they did make a couple HO trains, so I'm wondering if this could be a more obscure Sakai train set. I'm not sure, but that's kind of where I'm at right now with this. But if anyone does recognize this mechanism and it looks like a Sakai or just something that you know, please let me know. Anyways, I think, what do I think about this? So this is what I think. I've been looking at this mechanism, right? And I was thinking this is a battery train set. So this motor is probably not rated for 12 volts. So I'm venturing to guess that it's kind of a risk to run this on DC. And I noticed that you can just pull that gear off. So I want to see how well the motor does down on the layout. And if it doesn't do well, I'm thinking we can come back here and just, you know, slip in a new motor, because this would not be very hard to switch out for a eBay motor that I have. But for now, we're just going to leave this. I'll give it a clean and an oil. I did notice, too, that this has a, where is it? Yeah. It has a very small crack in it, so we're going to put a little glue on that, just to be safe. Gonna go ahead and clean this drive gear, because it's pretty nasty. All right, now we're gonna put a little oil. Give that a spin, let it mix in. Right now, I'm just putting a little bit of grease on. All right, we're gonna go ahead and just give the mechanism a little test. All right, so it seems to be working pretty well. Obviously, this gear is not being held in place by anything, so there's a lot of wobble, but that will be amended later when it's touching the wheel. Otherwise, I think this is a big improvement over how it was before. So I think we can move on to working on the rest of the chassis. Mainly just cleaning this part up, because as you can see here, there's just a mountain of dirt in there, and also make sure this wheel is clean. And then we got to clean these wheels, and I don't even know like how to describe this. Like, this truck is very strangely designed. It like like one half of the truck can pivot, so you can have like one wheel going like this and the other wheel going like this. which is very bizarre. I don't know why that's like that, but I did notice that there's a hole right here in these metal parts. So I'm wondering if we can like stick something like through there or something and maybe try to hold it in place so it can't move as much. But I think we'll only do that if it proves to be a problem. If that's like how it's supposed to be and maybe that it'll run better that way, then I guess I'll leave it. But if it actually does prove to be a problem, I think I'm gonna try doing that. But first we're gonna just take some dish soap to this stuff. All right, so now the chassis is very clean. As you can see, all that dirt that was there is now gone. The gear looks a whole lot cleaner too. And this truck is a little bit cleaner. There's some dust on here too. But now we're going to clean it with a carbon fiber pen. All right, now as you can see, the wheels are very, very clean. So we can get on with reassembly. So something I'm noticing is that this truck has a tendency to want to sit leaning backwards. I'm not sure what is causing that. I'm not sure if that's clear now, but as you can see, it's like leaning back. Let me take a look at it. So it's a little hard to see, but it kind of looks like this piece is straight, but then this piece is kind of like bent this way. It's very hard to illustrate on camera, but I think if I just manhandle that a little bit, I can bend it back in place, because it is just pressed tin, so it's not very hard to bend. I don't know, let's see if that fixed it. Yeah, that looks a little better. Okay, so we can carry on with the reassembly now. All right, so I cleaned the shell and put it back on. Everything seems pretty good to go, so we're gonna bring it down to the tracks and see how this puppy works. All right, so here it is on the track. Let's just give it some juice. Yeah, so it takes right off. And it seems to be working pretty well. It does not like the re-railer though, it looks like. Yeah. Something I noticed when I was fixing this is that for some ungodly reason, these sets of wheels are all the same flange size, but this set of wheels is much larger than the other flanges for no reason really. Like, I can't think of a good reason why that would be the case. So yeah, looks like that just kind of pushes it up off the track, but let's just see if we can get it to go around. All right, so I went ahead and set up the locomotive with its train. And before we end this video and do some running shots, just wanted to talk about this engine and its set, I guess. This is a very poorly made, very cheap train set, which is surprising because usually Japanese trains are very good, but this one is very bad. It kind of reminds me of like a post-war train set because it only really works when it's going very fast. And when I say post-war, I mean like a Lionel post-war train set. And it's, you know, sort of tacky and simple, but kind of effective. I mean, the difference is Lionel post-war trains are quality, whereas this is not that. I still don't know who made this. I feel like Sakai is a good answer, but I really have no way of confirming that because I haven't found anything still. If anyone knows, though, what this is, please let me know. Or if you have any leads, please let me know because I can make a follow-up video about this and, you know, explain what it actually is. But at the moment, all I can do is just show it, so... in terms of, like, can I recommend buying this? I would say no, because it kind of sucks. I only paid $15 for the whole set, which tells you, like, this is not really a desirable thing. It might be rare, but rare doesn't equal valuable in some cases. And, I don't know, it's just, it just is what it is. But, I don't know, I enjoyed working on it, and I think it looks kind of cool. I might just put it on a shelf, because, as you guys saw in the last clip, the flanges are so big that it makes it hard to actually run, but, I don't know. Cool train set, not great quality, wouldn't recommend it, but overall, pretty cool, just as a collector's piece. Anyways, let's get this thing running around the track.